With Marvel closing the door on their first 10-year term with the release of the biggest movie ever, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and their Phase 4 plans, I think it's pretty clear that they won the fight against DC's version of the superhero cinematic universe. But we all know that and we've all seen that. The only thing is, I don't think that needed to be the case. With iconic characters like Batman and Superman at the helm, the field should have been way more even. And I wanted to give my ideas on how they could have made their connective universe just a little bit more cohesive than what we've seen so far. So let's throw away the garbage and use what we already have to make a better DC cinematic universe. First, just to get this out of the way, I know that this new universe and the ideas present will be created in the shadow of the MCU, but all that really means is that we have a well-tested blueprint to follow and improve on a very base level. As DC has already done, these individual movies will be the building blocks up to Darkseid. But in my universe, I'm going about it a completely different way.
Don't lie to me, bitch.
Alright, maybe not completely different, because we need to start with a recognizable face to instantly draw on audiences, because we don't have the same luxury as Marvel, if you could even call it that, by placing an at the time obscure character to headline our universe. We're going with Superman. This first phase needs to set up not only our characters and how they will function in the universe, but it also needs to establish the overall tone that the universe is going to have for the foreseeable future. But let's set some ground rules. Nothing from the DC shows will cross over, so sorry if you've been waiting for the Green Lantern Green Arrow collab, and every summary for my movie ideas will honestly be pretty brief, except for the team-up movies, because I'd rather focus on the big team-ups and those character interactions rather than solo movies, since I'm honestly not that knowledgeable about every specific character that I would like to have in this universe. Now, I will give Zack Snyder credit this one time, and say that I actually liked Man of Steel when it first came out. But as the first movie in our universe, we need to build our characters up before tearing them down. In my version of the movie, we can still have an origin story for Supes, but we need it to be much, much lighter in tone. It doesn't have to be as happy-go-lucky as the Christopher Reeves version, but it can't be like this. Superman needs to be heralded as a hero, and that needs to be maintained, at least for a little bit. Also, instead of General Zod being the villain, I think Metallo will work better in this version. Our next two movies are literally just Wonder Woman and Aquaman, but without the references to that movie. And for those who haven't seen either movies, I'll give a brief summary just so you can be up to speed. Wonder Woman is an origin story and takes place during the First World War, where Wonder Woman learns how the world of man differs from her home of Themyscira. It's pretty good, you should watch it. Aquaman is also kinda like an origin story. It formally introduces Atlantis and shows Aquaman being pulled between the surface world and Atlantis. It's alright though. Back to my own ideas. I completely understand why there wasn't a Green Lantern movie in the actual DCEU right now, but in my universe, there will be one. Either we reboot with Hal Jordan, or we go with Jon Stewart, the best one. Either way, in this movie we will have Hal or John meet Martian Manhunter so that we can include him with the rest of the Justice League more seamlessly. This movie will probably be our most colorful and adventurous in terms of the different locales and creatures we're gonna see. Now, we're at my Justice League movie. This is where everything comes together so far. This is where we introduce Batman. Before this, we only hear references and see iconography of him, but we never hear or see him. Everybody knows who Batman is, we don't need to see his origin again, and we don't need to see how Batman operates. What we do need to see is that he isn't used to being a part of a team, but that will come later. So the overall movie opens with Batman monitoring the various heroes that we've previously seen, when his screen flashes with an alert that a large energy signal is being transmitted from deep space. We then cut to our Green Lantern hearing reports that planets are going missing. We check in with Wonder Woman and Aquaman doing their own thing, and we end with Superman in his Fortress of Solitude when a beacon is being picked up by his Kryptonian computer. Superman investigates and finds out that the signal is actually from Krypton, and that he is receiving that transmission because somehow Kandor, the capital city of Krypton, is getting closer to Earth. About a third of the way into the movie, a scout ship is deployed to Earth where Superman intervenes, but only barely defeats the robots deployed by the ship while Batman watches from afar. Once Superman goes into the ship, Batman follows and they first meet. This is really important because it establishes how Batman will interact with our other characters. Superman initiates by saying, "You know I heard your heartbeat while you were on the ridge," to which Batman responds, "You should have focused more on the fight." But before Superman can respond, a screen flickers on with Brainiac on it telling them that he will be there soon to take their planet. Superman then says that he doesn't think he'll be able to take on the entire fleet on his own, to which Batman says he has a plan. Then the middle of the movie is just those two working together to bring Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern together to fight Brainiac. Everyone agrees, and Green Lantern mentions that he knows a guy who might be able to help. That guy turns out to be Martian Manhunter. Once the final big battle starts, the individual heroes are losing, but due to Batman's tactical prowess, they turn the tide and are able to push back Brainiac's forces and storm the ship. Once aboard the ship, the heroes split up. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman try to find the bridge, while Green Lantern and Aquaman try to find the ship's engine room, with Martian Manhunter on an undisclosed mission. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman find Brainiac's trophy room with the various cities and planets that he's collected, and Superman tries to find Krypton before Batman says, "We will come back for your planet later. Right now, we still need to save Earth." Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman find Brainiac, and Batman threatens to destroy his ship by holding the engine room hostage with Green Lantern and Aquaman. We then see that they were captured by Brainiac, but Batman pulls out a detonator that destroys the engine room with explosives that we later find out were planted by Martian Manhunter. Brainiac freaks out and attacks the main three heroes. They defeat him, but Superman is worried about the Kryptonian city that Brainiac stole, so he races off. Although Superman does get to the trophy room in time, he can't find the city in time and the room explodes. The movie ends with each hero going their separate ways, but all agreeing that if any large threat comes to Earth again, they will come together to defend it as a Justice League. The end credit scene will show a new god, most likely Steppenwolf, speaking to a dark figure sitting on a throne saying that there are those that may become troublesome in the future, to which the figure says, "Do you believe that they can challenge me?" while his eyes glow bright red. The new god replies, "No one can oppose you, my lord," and the scene ends with the figure saying, "But they are welcome to try." And that's the end of Phase 1. I wanted to keep the first phase short and sweet because adding too much too early could dilute the major theme of Phase 1, which was choice. In each one of the movies, the heroes need to make a specific choice that will affect not only their lives, but the lives around them. For example, Superman chooses to fight and stop Brainiac first before securing Krypton, and I know that this is extremely basic, but I think that it works really well for the first phase of the new DCEU. To go a little bit further with the theme of choice, specifically in my Justice League movie, Batman's choice to keep everyone from knowing what Martian Manhunter is doing shows how he needs to keep a few things close to his chest even when facing a threat as dangerous as Brainiac. So let me know what you thought about my ideas, and if you have any ideas for a DC movie, drop them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe for the rest of the videos coming detailing the rest of my ideas for my revamped DCEU.